I think every player is guilty of setting some individual goals. I don't know if reaching 20 goals in a single season was one of those for you, but it has to be pretty nice to have that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not someone that like personally sets number goals. I think it's a number that I thought was attainable coming into the year, just getting older and more mature and becoming a better hockey player. I thought I had the potential to do it, but it does feel good for sure. It's a nice accomplishment for myself.
You and I talked a couple weeks ago about a story, and we were talking about how your career began in Bridgeport, and it was trying to scratch and claw your way into a lineup, just trying to find your role. Is it at all cool that the 20th goal comes back in Bridgeport where you started your career 5 years later, you're the leading scorer for a team?
Yeah, for sure. Things didn't work out for me there for various different reasons. It was a great learning experience for me, and I think most guys would say when you play your old team or old friends that there's a little bit extra chip on your shoulder, and I knew that I had 19 going into that game, so I thought it would be cool if I could do it against those guys, just for my own pride. But yeah, it felt good.
You just said you learned right from experiences there, but I think you strike a lot of people as someone who learns every day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of live by that? Do you try to learn a lesson every day?
For sure. It's what makes me happy. It's like what keeps me going every single day. It's not only hockey too. Like I'm just learning in general, all different areas. I find it's what I love to do, and it works out in hockey. And it's I think I probably learned the lesson from hockey that if you put in the work and you try to get better and learn each day, that you will progress and you will have success. And I've taken the lessons I've learned in hockey into other areas of my life. Like real estate, yeah.
Coming into tonight, it's no secret there's 1 point needed to clinch a playoff spot.
Oh, that was a secret. I didn't know that.
No?
No, I didn't know that. So that was a secret.
So I guess that says the locker room isn't really focusing on that.
No, not at all. I think that we know how tight it is, and like every point matters regardless of what it takes to clinch or not. We've been just trying to take it one game at a time for like probably the last 20 games or so. I'd say that's kind of been the message. It's just one game at a time, and the standings will take care of themselves. And I think that's still the message going into the last 5 games. We know that these guys. I don't even know exactly where everyone's at in the standings right now. I know that these guys are fighting like really hard, and they're going to be coming at us with a lot of desperation, and we got to match that and be ready to go. But it'd be obviously nice to clinch, but it's not something I think that we're like focusing on.
When you talk about it though, like you're right about Belleville, not looking at the standings.
Yeah.
Like they're fighting. You've been on this team for a couple of years. There have been seasons in the past where you guys were down the wire fighting just to get in. Does having that experience can help you prepare for an opponent that you go with and play that way?
For sure. I think and Apps does a good job of also letting us know how to approach games like this, and not overly focusing on your opponents, but knowing where they're at and the type of attitude or mentality that they're playing with. Maybe it's based on their last handful of games. Maybe they lost 3 games in a row and they're going to be playing desperate, or maybe they're on a long road trip and they're a little bit tired, and you got to know where they're at and trying to make it harder on them. In this case, it's a team it's coming down to the wire, and their lives are on the line for playoffs. So it's just realizing where they're at mentally and physically, and matching that, and yeah.
If you look at season series against everybody in the North Division, like a week and a half ago, Belleville was last in the North.
Yeah.
But the way you guys have played them, like they're one of the most dangerous teams in this division. You could argue they've been the most difficult opponent for the Amherst this season. You played them a few times now. What do you think makes them tough?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you just said. I think that they are a very tough opponent. They've just, I think that they work really hard. They play really hard. They're physical. They all compete and win puck battles, and they're a big physical team, and I think that's probably what makes them a good team and what makes them hard to play against.
Does a team like this kind of fold? I don't know if it makes sense, but like, do they fold under the radar because like when you go to Cleveland, there's a Trey Polanski. When you go to Syracuse, there's an Alex Barton-Lay. Like they don't have a top elite scoring prospect or a top goaltender who's NHL ready per se. Does that make a team fall under the radar and underestimate them?
I don't think so. Personally, I guess I don't think so. Like you said, everyone in the division is so good. Like that's why it's so tight. Is everyone's competitive. You could be dead last, and like that team is still like, can beat the first place team on any given night, regardless of if they have a top elite scorer or not. Like, they play the right way. They're a team. They play physical. They're hard to play against. Like those things typically will matter more at this time of year than having one elite goal scorer or something like that.
Last number for you is just how confident are you in this group? Like, there's a lot of guys, yourself included, that are back in that run of the Eastern Conference Finals, which started around this time a year ago. How confident are you guys? Do you guys believe you can go out there any night and beat anybody?
Yeah, for sure. I think that comes from winning, finding ways to win, and that it just gets more and more important down the stretch. And I think we've done that. We were down in Providence, found a way to win. We've been down a couple different times, found ways to win. You get 1-goal leads in the third, find ways to win. The Bridgeport game was disappointing, letting them, giving up a 4-goal lead, but we killed off some big penalties there in the overtime, and we still found a way to win. And I think that's what matters this time of year, is just like building that belief in yourself that like, no matter if you're up a goal, down a goal, where you're at in the game, that you believe that you guys can come back and you have what it takes because you've done it before. And I think that's what we did in past years leading up to this point, and credit to the staff for always, getting us prepared. And I think we just get better and better as the season goes on. There's areas of the game that they identify that we work on throughout the week, and we just compile those things. And by the time it really comes down to it in playoff time, like we have a really special team that's had a lot of good lessons and knows how to win.